How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Tom Mods Things. Today's episode, what are we doing? So, we're going to be doing a few things. We've got progress that we've made on the Saxo door cards, which you saw in the last episode. We've also got some boxes behind me, but you can see one of the logos there. We'll show you that a little bit later because we are going to be starting some of the audio install in the 106 alongside the Saxo at the moment. 106 at the moment is off the road for winter, so prime time to basically undertake all the jobs that we've been meaning to do on that, which one of those is to do the audio visual, so speakers, and also some of the sort of TV and PlayStation ideas that we've had as well. So without further ado, what we'll do is I'll just show you what we've updated on the Saxo door card since the last video, and we'll crack on from there. Right, so those of you that were following the last video, this is Project Saxo. So at the moment, what we are doing are these door cards. So as you can see here, looking way better than what we had in the previous video. Got a little bit more work to do, and then we can start laying some paint down on them to get them all smoothed off. But then what we also have is this one in at the moment, just sitting there with the centre of it just sort of positioned there, just to kind of see what it's looking like. I'm kind of a little bit more sold on the sort of centre sections now, with kind of all this sort of hatch stitching, a diamond stitch, I guess you'd call it. But yeah, a lot happier with how this is coming out now. It's taken a little bit of time to get here, but yes, it's definitely coming a long way. Right, so we'll crack on in a second, get those finished up. But for the moment, what I want to show you is what we've managed to acquire for the 106 project. So I'll flip you around, I'll chuck the stuff on the bonnet of this car, and we'll just unbox it on video for you. Right, so first up is this one here. You'll have seen I've already opened it just to kind of check everything. So this was a little purchase that we made on eBay for really cheap, second-hand. So hoping that we can basically pull it apart and utilise it. So what this is a 12-volt TV monitor. Crucially though, it includes kind of all the adapters that we'd need, plus it also has all of the AV out as well. So ignore the kind of bezel that this is in at the moment, because we're actually going to strip this whole thing down and design a 3D case, and then we'll take that and we will actually 3D print it. So what we can do is we can effectively mold this into anything that we want. So as you can see on this side here, kind of our inputs, we've got USB, SD, our AV for like a old PlayStation 2 would be going in here, 12-volt power supply, as you can see there, HDMI on the right as well, so we could even use sort of more up-to-date console. But yeah, ignoring this because I don't think we're going to need that connection, because we should be able to literally just put power into it, and either HDMI or our AV, and then it'll output a picture. So still needs testing, being told that it works absolutely fine. But yeah, what we're going to be doing is effectively we need to work out how this is put together. Some fixings that will probably sit underneath this bit. It says to push. Oh no, actually that's a DVD player. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be ignoring that. So going to be stripping out of this, and that won't close properly. There we go, closed. Yeah, so there must be some clips or some fixing somewhere around here. So yeah, we're going to look into how we're going to dismantle this and pull it apart, and then we're going to effectively get it so that we kind of remove the DVD aspect. Don't think we need that, and we'll check that it all works afterwards. And then yeah, it must be under these little things here. There's none on the top, but yeah, on the bottom. So anyway, that's what we're going to do with that, with the visual side of things. I think what we'll probably do with this, based on sort of the size of the screen and stuff, is I'm expecting, and we can kind of show on the Saxo, but obviously the 106, which is where this is going, is going to be slightly different. But the 106 also has this kind of position, sort of this like sculpted bit in the front as well, and I believe from my measurements this is a perfect size for it. So what I'm thinking is if we flush mount it into the dash like this, and then have an actuator that comes out the back of it, that effectively when we flick a button on the front, it will raise up out of the dashboard like magic, which I think will be sick. And then we can put the PlayStation and stuff all in the glove box. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. If you imagine this on the 106 and then yeah, raises up, I reckon that's going to be pretty cool, to be honest. So that's the plan with this. But as you know with me, kind of wing it, because kind of have a plan in place, but also not afraid to change things up as and when sort of things become available or different ideas come into my head. Right, so let's close that back up, and then we move on to our second thing. So the 106 at the moment doesn't actually have any speakers in it at all, so we thought, well, what better way to sort of build into it? Well, I say no speakers, apart from the two audio barn subs that are sitting in the back, but they're yet to be wired in. So we thought let's just keep with the audio barn gear because you know me, absolutely love it. And so we have these AS62s. They were incredibly cheap, which was cool because we got them on a good deal, but they are brand new old stock. So again, just like the subs that we got with the boxes that were sitting up here, brand new equipment, all the cutting templates. We've got new stickers for the 106, which is cool. And then the main thing on the inside of this, we've got a couple of grills, which is kind of cool. So kind of the boring one, should I say. So I mean, these are going to get fully ignored. So yeah, anyone wants these, welcome to have them, but we're definitely not using those because they're a bit bland. But here we go. So the speaker itself, in typical audio barn sort of aesthetic, is fully chromed all the way around, which is awesome. And then on the back, because they're part of the sort of flame edition, they have the iconic flames on the back, which is awesome. So these fully match the subwoofers that we've got in the car at the moment, and they're going to look absolutely epic when they are put in the car. Now I think there's a couple of different variations with this. So they're two-way components, so you've got the main mids section through the main speaker, and then I'm pretty sure that these are removable, which are the tweeters. So they currently come through with cables through the back, but I believe that they are removable and there's a cap that can go in place of that, but I'm yet to kind of go through the box. So I'd expect that they'll probably be in one of these bags or something in here, potentially. Oh, there we go. Yep, cool. So these are the little caps that would then replace it. Nice little bit of sort of embossed. So down here we have already taken off the plastic pieces that sit along the lower door, which is effectively the grille for the original speakers, and they just sort of cover it. So what I'm thinking at the moment is that we can use this kind of as it is at the moment and effectively bulk it out and build it up. So obviously these speakers are massive compared to the OEM ones. So these are, what is it, 6.5 inch. If we're going to put these on top at the moment, you can just sort of, I mean, yeah, it just looks massive, doesn't it? So we're definitely going to have some work cut out to get these to fit, but I think you'll agree having this as part of this is going to be epic. So we've got some sort of speaker mounts for it. So we've got some MDF, whatever they are, the little spacer things, so we can use those at least as a starting point, much like we did with the door cards for the saxo, where in essence we had kind of the rings that we use to effectively build up the shape. So we do the same thing here. We'll take some measurements over how far this is going to be able to sit back into the door, and then how much we're going to have to actually build it up off the top. And
a few moments later.
right guys, a few days on and we're still going and cracking on with these door cards for the 106 at the moment. Let me show you where we are up to. Right, so what have I got up to on these? So started to make a bit of a skeleton. I'm just using sort of the random stuff that I've got around the garage, just to prove that you can make this sort of stuff without needing to sort of spend loads of money on sort of the specialist bits and bobs. So anyway, so we've got our rings in, we've kind of bonded everything in place using hot glue gun, just to kind of get an overall shape. And then what we are going to be doing from here is done the same on the other side, and then we've gone and picked up some fabric. So this is just went down to like independent fabric shop near me, but this is like some really stretchy sort of textile sort of fabric, but it's also got sort of quite a porous material on the end of it. So what it means is that when we apply the resin over the top of this, we should basically be able to create like a nice solid structure. So what we're going to be doing is basically draping this over the top of our skeleton frame over there, and then staple it all around, get kind of the shape that we want, and then we can then start to apply our resin over the top, and then we start heading towards what we've done with these, where then we've got the filler over the top of it, smooth it all off, and then colour or retrim it. So yeah, crack on with that. I'll catch you once I've applied this over the top. Right guys, so this is where we're up to. So our material is kind of all laid on, stapled in a couple of places that I could get around here into the MDF, but for the life of me couldn't actually get any staples bar this one into the actual plastic itself. It's just too hard, and the staple gun that I've got just isn't man enough for the job. But anyway, so what we've done instead is we've used our adhesive fix that we've got over there, and we managed to use our trim fix to effectively sort of stick it down in places and stretch it over where we needed to. The only issue we had with this one is that I accidentally pressed here and it's stuck. So we've now got this area which I'm going to have to fill in and smooth out, because on the other one, as you can see down here, a couple of little indents that I need to I'll smooth over afterwards, but the majority of it is all lovely and smooth. So yeah, so we've got this nice curvature on both sides, and then we've kind of got our edges coming round, a couple of areas where I've just had to tuck the pieces in on one another, just with kind of what I'm doing at the moment. Then I'll just have to smooth over that afterwards, but that's not the end of the world. And then we're kind of just going to ignore this bit for the moment, because we will just trim this and smooth it over, and then this whole piece I think is probably going to get painted. So what we're doing now, so we're going to take our resin, this one here, going to mix it with a hardener in this, and we're just going to start to layer this over the top. Exactly the same process as what we did for these to start with. So I'm going to crack on with that now, and we'll catch up with you once this is fully covered in resin. 2 layers are on, so as you can see, we've got a nice sort of shape coming in here. This is now solid, so yeah, the resin is doing its thing, and basically now created this sort of solid structure. As you can see, we've still got a bit of waviness and stuff going through. Bear in mind, this is only the second time of doing something like this. That was first. This is better than first, so we're definitely making progression. So what we're going to be doing now, we're going to mix up another batch of the old resin. We've got some more sheets, fiberglass sheets and fiberglass tissue, so that we can effectively start to add some additional strength over the top of this, as well as sort of starting to fold and build in some of this rear end as well, because we need to make it as strong as possible for when these speakers go into place. We've also got a little bit of creasing and stuff that happened around this back edge, so we need to just add some sort of sheeting over the top of this so that we can start to smooth it all out, which we will be doing after sort of this sort of first couple of layers of fiberglass go on top. Exactly the same for the other side, got the same thing where there's a sort of rippliness going through, so we'll need to obviously take that out, but we need to build up some surface to be able to kind of flatten it all off. So gonna load up these 2 parts with a load of resin to start with, and then we'll start laying sheets on, and I'll catch you once that is complete. Right, there we go. So as you saw from the last couple of snippets, we've been doing a lot of sort of filling and sanding, and this is kind of where we're up to at the moment. Now, this is by no means a finished article, but what we have done is just lay down some of the filler primer just to start with, just to kind of fill in some of the low spots, so that we can now sand this back and have a bit of a sort of thicker substance to be able to go with. There's still a few areas where I'm probably going to need to fill in, where I've just realised that there's a bit more of a dip than I was that I'd realised after I was kind of sanding all of this, but as an overall shape and stuff, I think we're getting pretty close with this, to be honest. I think it's looking pretty good. I mean, considering what it was when we first started to where we are now, I'd say that we're kind of getting along the sort of right direction with this. So that is for this side. What I have realised is we've covered over one of the holes, so we're going to have to drill through from the back side of this and then sand it to get it all nice and smooth afterwards. And then this is the other one that we've got, so in the same sort of deal, we've got a few areas that we've kind of picked up. This one's probably the worst one out of the 2, to be honest, and this was the first one that I did. That was the second one, so as you can see, difference between the 2. This one's had a lot more work, so as you can see across this bottom section, we've got loads sort of to still sort of smooth off in this area, but yeah, coming along a little bit. Right, there we go, second one done. So now we're on to the stage where we're just going to kind of probably wet sand all of this just to get it as smooth as possible, and then we're going to start laying down some paint on top. So we've got some textured like truck bed paint, which kind of matches similar to kind of the internal plastics on the cars. So we're doing that on these to start with. We'll see what it looks like. If it looks rubbish, then we'll just change it and do something else. But yeah, great to get to this stage. Right, here we go, guys. Final layer has gone down on this. So now we are moving on to getting some black paint down. So this is the stuff that we've picked up. I've used a similar thing before on other parts. So we used this on the bits on the Porsche for the kind of exterior bits that were 3D printed. And this is to kind of give it that sort of textured sort of effect, which kind of mimics similar to kind of bumper, like plastic trim paint and things like that. All do a similar thing. We've not used this before, but I'm hoping it's a very similar similar product. But this was just readily available. I mean, I didn't need to order it online. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this up somewhere around here, where I'm just sort of letting all the overspray go at the moment, and we're going to start to lay down the first layer on both of these parts and see what it comes out like. Right guys, so now we've left that to dry. As you can see, this is looking way better than what we had previously. So what we are going to be doing now is we're going to be cutting out the aperture piece on this part here, because yeah, that needs to be cut out so it matches similar to this. And we're also going to start looking to line up and mount the speakers in there to drill the kind of holes that we need in the aperture to make sure that everything fits as intended. And then if not, then we just need to make a couple of small cuts behind it just to kind of give it a little bit more room. And then we are in the position to basically take these. Right, there we go. So basically we've put the speaker in, we've mounted that in with our fixings. We just laid this over the top for the moment because we just need to work out sort of some fixings that we can use to go into this, because the ones they give us won't work for this kind of application. But yeah, pretty damn happy really with how this has come out. I think you'll agree this is pretty sick, to be fair, from what we came from, just sort of chucking it together in the garage to what we have now. It's going to look even better when we actually get this on the doors on the car. Really going to come to life. There is obviously the bit that we're missing at the moment, which is where we've taken the tweeter out of the centre, because we want this kind of nice audio barn sort of chrome piece that comes in the kit. Basically we have got to now take, if I can find them, the tweeters, these ones here, and we've got to find a position for these. Now some people would kind of attach them like there on here and drill a hole through. Now we've kind of purposely left this all nice and smooth for the moment because we haven't quite decided what we want to do with these. We'll maybe either put them here or I don't know, up there or something, or we're going to put these in the kind of where the triangle bits are on the car, so where the bits that would usually sit here, and kind of basically just mount them in like that on those pieces instead. So yeah, haven't quite decided yet. But yeah, main thing now is we're at the point where we can start to mount these in the car and get them wired in, which is awesome. So come up sort of as good as I'd have hoped really. There's definitely, it's not perfect for sure, but obviously it's the first time that I'm doing stuff like this, bar the bits that we've done on the saxo that are still underway. And I don't know, I'm pretty happy with how they came out, to be honest. Proof will be in what they look like when they're in the car. So anyway, I'm going to stop yabbering and I'm going to go and crack on and get those all mounted up. Right guys, so we've made some progress. Let me flip you around and show you exactly what we've got. Right, so turning that down. So one thing that we have found with this is I think we've got a bit of a dodgy head unit. So I just mentioned a minute ago we're going to be changing this anyway. So what we did find out is as we were, just open that door up, as we were, as you can kind of hear there, kind of got a bit of static going on when you just sort of moving the volume between 0 and 1. And then what we're also finding is when you're going sort of in between tracks, you still get that same click. And what that's doing at the moment is, if we look at the sort of speaker down here and we zoom in, I just changed this, see that? So yeah, so I don't know what the audio term is as such. As I say, audio is not something that I've dabbled with all too much with cars and stuff, so this has kind of been my first real stab at it. So yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, I've put subwoofers and stuff in cars before, but not and changed speakers over, but not built sort of and wired everything in from scratch, because at the moment there isn't actually anything in here. Turn that off. There isn't actually anything, or there wasn't any wires in here to begin with, so obviously that's needed to all be run as new parts. So anyway, if you know what that little static bit is, then do shoot it in the comments. But I think it's a dodgy head unit, to be honest. And as I say, that one was really cheap off of eBay just to get us a DVD head unit, second hand. Don't know what his life was. It said it was working, and I mean it's working to an extent, but yeah. We also found a bit of a funny thing with the back of it with the outputs. So trying to put the speakers in the one that's kind of it had referenced as being like front left was causing tons of static, and it just was horrible. so swapped it over to a rear, and did the 2 rears instead, and then that was absolutely fine. So clearly there's something funny going on with it. I've got a couple head units knocking around. We've got the old Kenwood from the Saxo still, and we've also got a rip speed flip out, which is what we were going to use in the Saxo. But anyway, we might just fly around and see if we can find another one. I'm pretty sure I know of a few people that have a couple that are floating around, so we'll see what we can do as a deal. But yeah, so finally we have some music in the 106. Now next stage is to get those bad boys all wired up and working. Those of you that clocked it, down here we've actually already run the cables for the remote. We've got the RCA, and also we've got the power, so those are all run up into the back of the head unit. We left them down there for the moment because we're going to have to take the seats out to run all these sort of cables underneath the carpet to get it all nice and tidy, so that we're not sort of having wires everywhere. But anyway, so that's really for another day, but as I say, we've done that for the moment. So yeah, so now I reckon it's time to crack back on with the Saxo door cards. Now that we've done these, I'm feeling a bit more motivated because they work, and it's all gone together pretty well. A couple of small areas where I think we can make some improvements over time, but I'm pretty happy for a first stab, to be honest, and I like that sort of thing. You build it in your garage. I've not done this before. Let's do it, see what it's like. If it's not as good as you'd have hoped, then you can do it a couple more times, learn some more skills, and then you'll get it better after that. So yes, that's all for me, guys, at the moment. I'll hopefully get another video out before Christmas, but we'll see what happens. This one's taking forever to get done, I have to admit, so sorry for that. I just had so much stuff on at the moment, it's crazy. I can imagine all of you guys have got loads of stuff going on as well, so I can appreciate that side of things. But anyway, cheers everyone for watching. Stay tuned for more content now that we're delving into all the wiring and audio stuff for this 106, and also we're going to start to put together the Saxo and get that ready for its MOT, so we can actually start driving that around. Also, as you sort of see in the back, just about, the Porsche's back out again, so we're using that at the moment. Managed, I think, to fix everything that we needed to on it, so I'm able to use that again, which is cool. Just need to work out what we're doing with it, because yeah, I've had some interesting conversations with some people about potential projects, one in particular which I think would be unreal, to be honest, if we manage to get hold of it. Issue at the moment is getting the funds together for it, which means that I'd probably have to get rid of something. 106 will definitely stay. The Saxo is the one that's kind of on the cards at the moment as to whether we get rid of it, finish the audio and stuff, and then sell it on, and then use that to fund this next project. Or we sell the Porsche, but I don't really want to sell that. But anyway, I'm rambling, so I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like it and comment, and I'll catch you on the next one. Laters.